and I just videoed me doing the exact same verse. It sounds exactly the same, and people like it's just a stupid joke. They're like, but people are like, this sounds exactly the same as the yeah. No, this is obviously you, and I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point. Like, I don't know. I was like, oh, come on.
What's going on, Barney? How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. How you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I appreciate you doing this today. Thank you so
No,
much.
thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, your mic is so crisp and clear.
Oh, we have the same mic.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you. So I'm Adam, and this podcast is about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about how you got to where you are now.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
First off, talk to me about where were you born and raised?
I was born up in London, here in northwest London, and but I grew up in Somerset, down with my mum in the countryside with my mum and my brother. So yeah, it was quite like it's very rural. I don't know if you know heard of Somerset.
I'm so bad at this stuff.
It's farmers, it's sheep, it's cows.
Wow.
I don't know. Culture-wise, there's not really like as a young person growing up there, it's not the most stimulating place to be. Put it that way. But
Okay.
I feel like I appreciate it now. Like looking back, like when I go back, I appreciate it more now. It's quite like an idyllic scenery to grow up in. You know, you got like rolling hills and I don't know. It's nice, but when you're a young person there, it's not the greatest place to grow up. I don't think.
Okay. Small. You said it's like a small village or what? Small town?
Yeah, it's like well, Somerset's a county, but yeah, I grew up in a small village within there. So yeah, it's just I don't know where I'd compare it to in America. It's just a very rural part of town. Like you don't get like artists like big artists like drop by or anything like that. It's nothing like that. But
Okay.
yeah.
But like when you're going to school and stuff, or is you have very small classes, or is like, or did you go to a outside to a bigger school?
No, not necessarily, but
Okay.
because lots of people do live there, but it's no London.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
you just gotta. Yeah, no. School was cool. Like there was a good range of people there. Because I mean, lots of people like moved to. There was a like you'd probably split the groups up into like you know, in American like films house, like you got like the jocks, the da da da, like
Sure.
like in England it would be like, well, in Somerset it's like you've got the farmers. Like the farmer children are always like they come in their gilets. They're always the first to drive because they've been like driving tractors since they were like 10. Yeah,
Right,
or three,
right.
probably three. And then but yeah, I don't know. There's like a mix of everyone there. You got yeah, no, it's a good place. It is a good place to grow up. But when you're actually a young person there, like in the moment, you're like, damn.
Oh, sure.
Well, for me anyway, I was just like, damn, so much more is going on in the city. So yeah.
How far away is the city from where you live?
On the train, it's probably about like 2.5 hours, which is
wow, so
but
it's not close.
Well, yeah, I mean, for England, that's like quite a long way.
Right.
I know in America you get in a car for like 6 hours and you're in the same state still. So
if you're in California, it's like you can get it in the car for 11 hours and you'll still be in the same state.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So well, I mean, that's far. So you weren't like getting on the train and going into the city quite like very often, doesn't sound like.
No. No, my dad always lived up here, so I'd come and see him. Me and my brother would come up and see him fairly often, but yeah, no, we wouldn't come up here all too much.
Okay. You come from what I read, a pretty creative household, though, correct?
Yeah,
But
pretty.
not
Yeah,
musically. But
yeah,
like
yeah. I'd say generally,
filmmaking. Okay.
yeah, filmy. Yeah, nothing like no industry like music, but no, surrounded by music and kind of encouraged to do music from like a young age, even if it was just like a one-off like trumpet lesson or like a one-off drum lesson. It was just so we could try it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
that's cool.
I always thought that was really cool. Like looking
So
back, but
encouraged, it sounds like.
yeah, and just always just like lots of just good music in the house. I think. I mean, mainly grew up on the Beatles. Like that was like the main thing I remember. But I remember seeing like CDs for all sorts of like I don't know, like lots of French music, lots of jazz, even stuff like having like an Eminem. I remember seeing the Eminem Curtain Call CD as like I don't know how old I must have been, but looking back on it, it's like it's pretty cool that like my parents had that in the house. So
Sure.
yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, no, but yeah, very musicy kind of arty kind of family environment, I think.
What
Yeah.
about you? You mentioned a trumpet lesson, like a one. Like, what was the first instrument that you kind of were taught?
Uh, uh, well, like the very first would have probably been something like the recorder. I feel like in England
Oh
everyone
yeah.
has like like a recorder lesson.
Oh yeah,
But
here in the States too. I think in
oh
like
really?
first grade, like they put you on the recorder for
Yeah.
like
That's
10
the
minutes and then let you go home with it.
that's the real deal. That's
Oh
the
yeah, some hot cross
um
buns or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. No, it's probably like piano lessons or something.
Okay.
There's nothing I never took any of the music lessons to like when you do grades. I think it's the same. Is it the same in America? Like you do like grade one piano, grade
Yeah,
two, grade
yeah,
three.
yeah, yeah.
Um I
But you
never
never
took any
continued with it?
I never took anything that far, but no, I can play a bit of piano and a little bit of enough to like write a song with kind of thing. So yeah.
Okay. I see a guitar behind you. Do you play guitar?
Yeah, sometimes. At the moment
Okay.
not I've not because um I don't know, I'm just working on I guess so many like beats and stuff sent to me,
Sure.
instrumentals, beats from people that are much better than me. So I'm just like, sometimes I get the old dust off the old guitar and get it down, but yeah, not all too often.
When did you start writing songs?
Um, I'd say I first properly started writing songs when I was in college because I was in a band in college with my with three of my best friends, and we started a band, or I actually joined them, and as like the lead singer, stood there with a guitar even though I could play not very well, and yeah, that's when I started like properly actually writing songs to be performed. But no, I remember writing just crappy little songs much much before then, like probably when I was, I don't know, like 12 or 13 or something, but
Oh,
none of which
okay.
I could sit down and be like, oh yeah, this is, I was no like child prodigy or anything. This
But you started in a band. You played in a band in college?
Yeah, I played in a band in college.
And how long were you
Yeah,
in the band? And
I was we were so yeah, for the US listeners, in England, college is high school. Is that correct?
it's like the last 2 years of high school, I think.
Is the
Like when you're like 16, 17, 18, right? Ish.
right, yes. So college here is like you do college, then you go to
Or like
university.
university, yeah. So
Yeah.
college is like the basic. I think it's the end of high school here. Like your junior and senior year would be
Right,
considered
okay. Okay.
college there.
So yeah, so essentially it was the 2 years we were in college, and yeah, we just it was really fun. Like it was mainly like college gigs and stuff. So it was always in local kind of pubs or little venues. Like there's one in there's a city called Bristol, which is like
Mm-hmm.
the biggest city near in Somerset, near Somerset. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we did a bit of that, and it was really fun. I mean, it's just really fun, kind of just hopping in the car with your best friends and going to play a show. I look
What'd
back
you
at the
guys sound
recordings
like?
now.
Yeah, yeah. Like, do you
It
ever?
was quite like, I don't know. It was like indie. It was like indie rock stuff, really, because I didn't listen to any indie rock at the time, and all my friends, those guys were all into like Arctic Monkeys and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was writing songs, I was writing songs to fit the band aesthetic, what we were doing,
Sure.
kind of thing. So in that sense, it was an interesting exercise for me because I was like, well, I don't listen to this music, but I'm still writing for it and performing it anyway. So that was cool. But no, yeah, it was indie rock. I'd probably categorize it as. But
But because you obviously were you listening to more hip hop and R&B?
yeah, I mean, probably at that point I was yeah, at that point I was listening to pretty much yeah, all hip hop and um yeah, hip hop and like Bob Dylan and the Beatles are probably like
Oh,
those are
interesting.
like the two, like Bob Dylan and the Beatles are the two kind of like ones which I kind of always dip in and out of. But yeah, that's been from the start. But yeah, hip hop. I mean, it started off with because my brother was a huge Drake fan from like very early on. So
Okay.
got
Degrassi days.
no,
I'm
not
just
that
kidding.
early, not that early. Wheelchair Jimmy, no, not that early. But but as things go, like pretty early on. So
Okay.
um yeah, so I don't know. Listen to that. Chance to Rap, all the early kind of Odd Future stuff. Earl Sweatshirt. Um, yeah, that kind of got me into. I remember going like Dat Piff trying to find. It was quite funny because it was always like my brother's artist that he found was Drake, and I was
Okay.
like, yeah, I'm gonna find my own artist that I think is gonna blow up. And I remember scrolling through like Dat Piff, that mixtape website, and
Mm-hmm.
just like trying to find an artist I thought was gonna like pop off, so I could be like, yo, I found this guy. I don't think I ever found one. I think wait, yeah, no, I don't think I ever did. But yeah.
That's funny. But you were obviously your brother was into hip hop as well. When do you start like writing your own like the songs that are outside of the band, as far as like what you're doing now, rap
uh
songs?
yeah, outside of the band was pretty much after I left after we left college, after everyone kind of split up to do like a kind of gap year. I think all of us actually did a gap year. Yeah. So I had booked two plane tickets, one from London to LA and then one from New York back to London 6 months later. And I had
Oh
no idea how I
wow.
was going to fill the time in between. So I was
Yeah,
like,
how you were gonna get to LA all the way across the whole
yeah,
country in
like
New
so
York? Yeah.
I just turned 18, and yeah, I was just like, I'm just gonna go out to LA, do something out there, and kind of the initial plan was to go up the west coast and then into Canada. Because I'm a Canadian citizen as well. I've got the passport and
Oh,
everything, so I
how
can
did you get
stay.
the yeah,
Well,
how did
it's like my granddad's a Canadian, my grandma's. It's something like that. I've never really questioned it to be. I'm just like,
you just going
it's
with it?
yeah. I mean, I've never lived there or anything, but yeah, just dual citizenship. Love it,
That's cool.
love it.
Okay, so the idea was flying to LA, do stuff or try to kind
Yes,
of get something done there, and then just slowly work your way up to
pretty
Canada,
much, and
and
then kind of go down into New York, and
yeah,
yeah,
eventually make it to New York,
it
and
was
then
very vague, but that's why I was so excited about it because I was like, I can do anything in this 6 months. Like I could do so. But no, I ended up going to LA, and I was doing there's a thing called Workaway. I was working in a hostel in West Adams, because with this thing Workaway, essentially you work in return for free accommodation, right? So it meant
sure.
I didn't have to pay any accommodation costs, and I could stay
So
in
you would have a
LA
spot to
free.
stay, and you
Exactly.
yeah, okay,
In
got you.
return for like, I think I did like 3 hours helping with breakfast in the morning because I was working at a
Wow,
hostel,
that's a
so it
pretty
was
good
like
gig.
you got like a free bed there. Da, da, da. It's pretty good, and there's no like you don't need a visa because it's volunteering. There's no money exchange, so it's so yeah, I did that, and then I was there, did all the touristy stuff in like the first month there, and I was like, cool, cool, cool. And then I started writing some music out there and meeting just some cool characters that would come through to the hostel, play beats. Da, 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 da. I don't know. There was like yeah, did some recording. Eh.
Was the idea to go out to LA to pursue music?
Oh no, 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 no,
Oh, it's
no,
just like, hey,
no,
I'm gonna go check it
no,
out.
no, not at all. Yeah, um, went out there, then went up to San Francisco on the coach, which took like 7 hours. Still in
Easily.
California.
Yeah,
um,
right.
and then I was in a hostel there, which I didn't like as much because we had to wear like a uniform, and I was like, oh, this is weird. Felt too
Oh,
serious.
interesting. Well, did
And
you
then
get to LA from LA to San Francisco? Was that like the train, or did you
no, I
slowly
took
kind of work your way up?
I took the coach, so I went straight up overnight, and
Okay,
then I met
got
some
you.
people there, and they were like, "We're going back down to LA," and I was like, "Yo!" And it was my friend, my guy Frida, my guy Phil, an Irish guy and a German. Sounds like the beginning of a joke, but literally, yeah, we rented a car and then went down, traveled all the way down Route One back to LA again,
Okay.
and yeah, it was really fun. And then I was back there. I was like, "Yo,
Were
back
you back
here."
there to like when you meet these people? Was it to go back to pursue music, or was it just like, hey, I met these guys,
Uh,
and like now I have a little
I
crew of
think
friends. Let's go back to LA.
yeah, it was a bit of both, to be honest. I think I just liked being there, and I felt like there was still a lot I hadn't kind of tapped into in LA. So
Okay.
yeah, so I don't know. I was just back there. Then yeah, my girlfriend came out to visit for like a week, and then it kind of like just time passed pretty much, and then I was there for like 4 months or something, and
Oh, now you have
then I
two
flew to
months to get across the country.
yeah, then I flew to Canada, My brother was studying Toronto at the time, so I was with there a bit, and then yeah, and then I saw some family and stuff around there. Last few days down to New York, bam, fly home, and then
Okay.
I came back, and I was like, damn, that was like my gap year, or like 6 months, whatever, and I started, and I knew I enjoyed making music, so I started um writing on top of beats I found on YouTube. Um, and I started a project where essentially I would drop a song every Friday on SoundCloud, and
Hmm.
I'd get my friend to do the artwork for it. My friend Henry, who's great at like art, and yeah, he would do the front cover, and I'd make the song, and then put it up on SoundCloud, and yeah, it was just like I did that for like about, I think, I don't know, about 10 or 11 weeks or something, and
So you put about, okay, so every
every
single
single
week,
Friday, yeah, every
every single
single
Friday.
Friday, yeah, and
Was
then
there a moment during that time that one of the songs did like popped off a little bit, or like how did
um
you continue just moving forward? I mean, after a certain amount of time, were you getting kind of burnt out on it, or did it like was there
uh
some little victories
That
here and
was
there
so
early
like
on?
the main victory is where I got my foot into the door within the music world was
Okay.
it was the last one of those songs which I made, one of the Friday songs. It was called Game Over. And and yeah, I made a video for it as well. I think it was around Christmas time. I got my dad to film it. My Yeah, and I was literally just walking down the street rapping this song. I got my brother to edit the video because he's great at editing. Um, and yeah, I just put it up, and I mean, it didn't blow up in a sense of like viral. It wasn't
Hmm.
like no one was using TikTok and stuff like, and if, I don't know, I don't even know if it was called TikTok then, but yeah, like I put that up, and that just got like a bunch of um, that was in 2018, I think. So that just got a bunch of like industry attention as opposed.
Was that
It
on
didn't.
like via what, YouTube or
It
something?
was on YouTube. I was posting up on like on like Facebook for like streetwear Facebook forums. I
Okay.
was in Reddit threads. I was just kind of just posting it everywhere really. And then yeah, like yeah, I essentially from that I had a bunch of like managements and labels hit me up.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and then
That must have been exciting. You're like,
oh
after
yeah, no, yeah, it was crazy exciting.
or 10 weeks or whatever you said, 11 weeks, and finally
Yeah.
the last one kind of does something, and it's okay, I am on the right path.
Yeah, no, it was pretty exciting. And at that point as well, that was the first time because I came back from America, and that was when I was now living in London because I didn't go back to living in Somerset. So I'd come out of college in Somerset in the countryside, gone on the gap year, then come back from that to London.
London.
So I'd only been here for a little bit, and it's like, and I think that's why it was hard as well to get like lots of streams on those Friday songs which I was posting because I didn't really have like, I don't know, I didn't really have a network of friends up here at all, um, who were like into hip hop and stuff like that. And yeah, so I was really kind of just posting it into the ether. And I had friends back home who were like sharing it and stuff, but
Mhm.
I think it's different when you've got like the city behind you from like the get go kind of thing. So, but yeah, no, got a bunch of interest from that last one, and yeah, then I chose like I knew the first step was to like choose a management as opposed to a label.
Mhm.
And then yeah,
And then you get this, and then you sign with the management company, and then what do you
yeah.
perform out or in London at all? Or is it mainly just going back
So
to the
well, so yeah,
recording?
yeah, so I joined the management, and yeah, then it was straight into like sessions on sessions on sessions, and that's where I learned so much through that because that was just a completely new like environment, circuit, whatever you want to call it, to me, and it's such
Mhm.
like a everyone knows everyone, it always feels like there's only like 1 or 2 degrees of separation from anyone else within this little music kind of circle, like but yeah, no, it was just really cool. Like it was the first time I was like, damn, like this is the music, well, this the yeah, the musicy creation side of the music industry that I'm in. It's like you go to these studios and they've got like plaques up on the wall. It's like, damn, like it was quite crazy to just be like dropped into that after just being at home just recording in a bedroom setup. So yeah, so I was doing that, and then
You put out your first album then, what, the
Yeah,
later the next year, like
at, at,
2019?
at the start of 2019, I put out publicly, essentially, I put out my first, mixtape um at the start, and then I put another mixtape out at the end of 2019, and I did a bunch of like shows and stuff in between then.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was like it was a good experience. Um I think as a new artist, like for most people, if they didn't know me from Somerset, like I launched as an artist in 2019. That's like when I came into the game. So it's
Hmm.
like, I think in retrospect, looking back at COVID and stuff, it's like, it was probably like one of the worst times to launch. Well, most
Right. I was gonna
frustrating.
ask about that. Yeah, because you had two mixtapes out and you were probably
Yeah.
on the rise, and then
Well, yeah, it kind of
COVID like yanks the rug out.
exactly. It's like, and I'm sure lots of other people have this kind of story as well. But it's just like, I got to the end of 2019, like, I don't know, you kind of feel like, when you're on like a wave, you kind of like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm kind of breaking into like a kind of running pace. And I was like, yo,
Yeah.
okay, got things lined up for next year. Da 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 da. Start of 2020, went out to LA, writing sessions. Went to like the Rock Nation Grammy brunch, see all these people like Beyonce's there, Jay-Z. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Da 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 da
Yeah.
da. All this. Fly back to London, and a week later, it's just like bam, lockdown. It's like, whoa. It went from like sunny LA music industry, da 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 da, straight to like the polar opposite. And
Sure.
then slowly it was like, oh, that's getting moved because COVID's around. Okay, it's like, okay, cool. COVID might be around for like another month or two, and then it just got more and more serious until it was just like, damn, like
Yeah.
it did definitely knock the wind out of the sails, but also gave me a lot of time to write as well, which is like
Yeah. Were you
the
able to be
positive way of
creative during,
seeing it.
yeah,
But at the
during
same
that
time,
time
like,
period?
yeah, I was, but yeah, I think yeah, there's pros and cons to it though.
Mhm.
So, uh,
Now, how
but
do you get the
yeah,
momentum back? Are you just still releasing songs even though it's
well, yeah. So like, I didn't really release much over that time.
Mhm.
I think I released like two songs. I was going into a deal with a label at the time, with a major label, and I was like, and I kind of signed the deal when COVID was like, oh, it's going to be around for like 2 months, and I
Uh,
came out of the deal kind of months later when it was like, oh, okay,
this is gonna be years.
yeah, this is serious now. So it was kind of like, but I mean, I came out of the deal very well, purely a knock-on effect of COVID. So that left me in a financial position anyway, where I could be like, oh, okay, I don't actually need to sign to anything else straight away. Like I've managed to kind of get off the hook here with, like, I can actually be independent for a bit.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like it was just negotiating all that in the midst of COVID was just like, yeah, ridiculously long-winded, and yeah, just a long process. But yeah, no, now like, yeah, no, I'm skip forward to
Now you got a mixtape coming out, another one,
that.
right?
Yeah, so skip forward to the start of this year. Yeah, like I'd written a bunch of stuff over COVID, and then
Mhm.
a label hit me up called Gwyn Records, independent label based in LA, R&B hip hop label, and they're actually one of the first guys to hit me up back when I dropped my first stuff in 2019. And I was like, okay, and then I had like a Zoom call with them, and it was all just like, and I just really liked them. It was very like they were very unmusic industry like, but in like the best way. I was so used to, even that the first Zoom I had with them, for example, it was like when I'm so used to like, oh, we got a call at like 6:30, and it's like,
Mhm.
okay, cool. You get on the Zoom, whatever. You get there, and it's like, oh, sorry, we're gonna have to push it back like 20 minutes. And it's
Oh,
like,
sure.
okay, okay, cool. And it's like, oh, sorry, it's still in a meeting. Da, da, da. There's always kind of like
Yeah, just the
bullshit
bullshit. Yeah,
surrounding
the
it.
fluff to it.
And I was just like, I was so used to that. So like with
Letting
these
you know you're
guys,
not quite that important for them to stop.
yeah, there's always that element. And I was just like, damn, like I was so used to that. So with these with Gwyn, when I had my first meeting with them, it was like, they said the call's at 6, I think it was 6 p.m. English time. Get on the Zoom call, and it's like, bam. like 14 of them, like all there. And from that point, I was just like, yo, these guys like actually mean business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And they
And they're
respect your
just,
time.
yeah, exactly. They're just all really good people, and I really like them. So yeah. So the point I'm at now is, yeah, about to release a mixtape. I think the date on it's like October 19th. Um, and yeah, so this is all stuff I actually wrote towards the end of COVID. And these, funny enough, are all on. It's quite hilarious because I do so many sessions with like talented, amazing musicians, but all of the songs on this tape are actually beats from YouTube, from
Really?
almost like going back to the when I first
When you
started.
first started?
Yeah,
Wow.
so they're all beats I found on YouTube. 6 out of the 10 of them are from this guy called MB Wav, who's this like great producer. I think he's based in America, I believe. Um, I was
And do
just
you just
finding
reach
what.
out to them and just say, hey man, like
Well,
I'm
you buy the rights to them. You buy like this. You get all the stems and stuff, and then I write the song, and then I take all the stems and I take the song, and then I take it in. So then my guys, they're called Slim Typical. Again, very talented like producer duo, um, who work at Rudimental Studio down in Old Street. And I just go there and we kind of take the song and kind of just we've got all the stems to it, and even though it's a
Mhm.
YouTube beat, we can record it nicely, tailor the track, like maybe like swap out a bass, change drums, da da da. Do you know what I mean? Just give it more
Yeah.
character and flavor, and just kind of um yeah, make it so it just fits within my universe of songs as opposed to me just rapping on top of an MP3 file, you know.
Right.
So yeah, that was the process, and it's just like I just really enjoyed doing it that way. Because it's just crazy like how much talent there is out, like even on YouTube. I mean, there's lots of terrible stuff on there, but there's also tons of great stuff as well. And it's like these are just like kids or whoever just like in their bedrooms just like posting stuff up online. It's like, damn, some of these are better than producers I've actually worked with. And it's just, I don't know, it was just a fun way of doing it for me. I really enjoyed it.
That's cool that and then you're finding these people. And then if your song does, when it does really well, then people are like, oh, who produced, Barney's beat? And then it's this person on YouTube.
Yeah,
And
for
then they're
real.
getting exposure. I mean, it's just cool that it's
Yeah.
kind of its own little like network
Yeah,
outside
yeah, yeah.
of a
Hmm.
bigger like gatekeep, industry that has more of the gatekeepers on there.
Yeah, 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 most definitely.
And I feel
But
like that
yeah.
was cool. Like that's what TikTok kind of became too, right? I mean, it was like
Hmm.
these songs just popping off on out of nowhere, and it's like, who is this person? It's just some kid in his closet making this
Yeah,
song or whatever, and
yeah,
it's got
yeah,
like
yeah.
10 billion streams. You're like,
Yeah, I
whoa,
know.
like what happened here?
Yeah, no, it is actually crazy. It's such a crazy landscape at the moment for like because anything can really blow up, and it's pretty insane. It's
Mhm.
almost like
They just leveled the
it can
playing
be
field.
one video which changes your whole life. So it's just like, oh damn, I should be posting like every single day, all the time. But hey,
Yeah. Well, I love what you're doing, man. And then so Intergalactic is the newest
yeah,
single that you released?
that's the newest one. We did a really cool video for it with my guy Nick Denisov. He directed it. I actually met him at a show which I played at, and he was just like, "Yo, we need to do a video." So I was like, "Let's do a video." So we did a
Mhm.
video. Looks really good. Um, so yeah, Intergalactic is the most recent one which came out. Before that, there was one called Backstroke, which came out uh 4 weeks beforehand, I think.
Mhm.
Um, and that streamed really well. Actually, that's been doing really good because of a TikTok. Actually, knock on effect of a successful TikTok which I posted.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So what was the
Unfortunately,
TikTok?
the TikTok was I was like, um, I
Doing
was
a
like,
backstroke in a pool or something?
no, no, no. I was like, it was about AI. So I was like, I played an AI 1,000 hours of hip hop music, and I got it to create its own hip hop song based on what it heard. And then I hit play, and then it plays my song.
Oh,
It played
wow.
Backstroke. So like it was kind of to me, it was very obvious that it wasn't like because like AI can't do that shit right now. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But
You
like,
can cuss if you're trying
oh
not
yeah, okay, okay. But
to.
like, but no, like I don't know, like
Well, isn't there an AI
that
that's
did like
doing
three
that?
point.
Didn't somebody sign an AI? I swear to I
I
read
don't know.
something about
Yeah,
this.
I don't know. I don't know how good like the actual. I don't know.
Like it was
But
creating lyrics and it's just insane.
Maybe. But anyway, like I posted it. It did like I think it's currently sitting at like 3.2 million views or something, and it was just like it's so dumb. Like I honestly like watch it and I think it's so obvious that it's not like AI. But I mean, apparently, well, yeah, lots of it's the perfect kind of storm for like a viral video. You've got like people that are angry at the video, so they're commenting and sharing. You got people that are like, this is like funny or cool or whatever, and they just like the song. And then yeah, and then there's people that just like the song. So it's like you got everyone kind of up in the comments like, oh, this is cool, like great marketing, or they're saying, oh my god, I can't believe AI can do this, or it's just like such a mix of like everything. It had like a perfect amount of like controversy in there to people were making like response videos like, there's this one kid who's like, yo, this man is tricking you, and then he like listed out like this whole like 5-minute video. I was like,
he's like breaking down everything.
I was literally like, because in like the top thing said like this, it says like link in my bio for the song, and like if you click on my actual profile, it says AI didn't write the song, I did. Then it has the link, and it's like, I don't know, I made it fairly obvious, and then all like the lead up videos which were linked, which got like lots of views as well, were all just like so obviously me taking the piss about the situation. But I don't know, there's always going to be some people that slip through and we're just like, oh my god, you lied to us, and I was just like, oh, it's not that
That's
deep. Just do some marketing, you know. It's TikTok's a free app, come on, chill.
Right, and that's a brilliant way to market it. And it's funny that you're like, all you had to do is just click on my, click on the profile, right? It's like they couldn't take that extra step. It's like, I'm going to spend a 5-minute rant on this video instead of just clicking the guy's profile and being
literally
like,
like one of the videos also which I did from it was like cause you know when you like video reply and then the videos in the comment section, like one of them was like, it was called like proof that AI wrote the song. So I'm like, look, here's proof that AI wrote the song. And I just videoed me doing the exact same verse. It sounds exactly the same. And people like, it's just like, just a stupid joke. They're like, but people are like, this sounds exactly the same as the AI. No, this is obviously you. And I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point. Like, I don't know. I was like, oh, come on. It's not that deep. But anyway, it did good for the song. And yeah,
I love that.
I mean, what's crazy is that like, I think nowadays it's like, I feel like the success of a song, it's like 10% or like maybe 20% is having good music. The other 80% is literally just like, it's just the marketing. It's getting it in front of people. Do you know what I mean? I honestly feel like, I don't know.
Well, if you don't have the song and you market it, because think about how many songs go up on, YouTube, or not YouTube, but like even YouTube, I guess, but like Spotify every day and TikTok every day, and how many of them actually do anything. You could have the best marketing plan ever, and the song could still shit the bed. You know what I mean?
I honestly feel like you can get people to listen to like, and like if you market it in like a clever, if you do it in a good way, which make people interested or like they're invested in this. I don't know. I don't.
It's like to get them to come over to another app. You know, that's an extra step.
Yeah.
So 300,000+ people have gone, oh, this is like cool enough to make me go over to Spotify and stream it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that extra step that you have to get people to take that they're not going to take if they're not invested in the song at all. It's
this is true.
You know, it could be the worst song and it gets a bunch of views for the marketing, but
yeah,
they're not going to go and like listen to it on their own time.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
You know what I mean?
I think, I mean, also Spotify is like a massive, like, if you get playlisted, like you can really, if you don't get playlisted or do get playlisted, you can tell the difference straight away. Like with Backstroke, we got like New Music Friday, like the big boy US one, and it got like another big playlist. Like that's only 2 playlists, which isn't actually that crazy. Like, but with Intergalactic, because there weren't as many pre-saves on it, because I was deciding to do the promo for that after it came out as opposed to before, because I was trying out both ways. That didn't get New Music Friday or anything like that. So it was like, I don't know, so everything's so like algorithmically based.
Oh yeah.
There's like an algorithm on Spotify as well. There's like a popularity score, there's an artist score. And if it goes above a certain number, it's like it'll get pushed out into a wider bracket. It's pretty crazy that this is what we have to think about now as well.
Yeah. Wow.
It's pretty mad. Because I mean, yeah, really you just want to be making cool music and putting it out. But I mean, I think marketing's always been important, but it's just weird now that it's kind of more calculated.
Right. Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It's wild. So you have the mixtape coming out. You said it's what, 10 songs?
10 tracks. Yeah. 10
Okay.
songs.
And
Yeah,
you've
I'm
got
very
three
proud
out
of it.
so far?
I've got, yeah, three out of them. Yeah, three of them out so far. Yeah. I'm just gonna be rinsing TikTok because it's just I've only been on it for like 2 months, and it's just doing it just does so well. So I'm just like, I think if you can find a cool way of doing it where you don't
Yeah.
look back at yourself and cringe, if you can find your like a good way of doing it, I think because I was against it for so long. I was against it for
Uh-huh.
like over like a year, 2 years. I was just like not against it, but I was just like, oh, I don't want to have to do that for people to listen to my music. But it's been so powerful as a tool to get it to new ears, and yeah, no, it's been great. So yeah, I'm gonna be dropping the tape, probably do a little party in London somewhere. um yeah, I'm just very excited to drop it.
Very cool.
So yeah, should be good, should be good.
Awesome, man. Well, I can't wait for you to get that thing out. And I appreciate your time today, Barney. Thank you so much
No, thank you,
for doing
man.
this.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I have one more question before I let you go. I want to
Mhm.
know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
um I'd say when you're starting off, I think take good people over a big lump sum of money, because the money is definitely finite. And I think when you're at the beginning of your like music journey, having people that believe in you is just so much more valuable to you as an artist than just get it like signing a deal than being one of like the hundreds that I don't know, I'm trying to put it into um yeah, that's what I'd say really. I think it's been so much more valuable to me having a team that actually like cares about stuff, cares about like the music, knows the catalog, and even if that means taking like a smaller advance, um, it's just that's just so much more valuable to me than just having like a big lump sum of money dropped into my account, which I then have to pay back anyway. It's like, so yeah, don't get too starry eyed when a label when a label hits you up, because they will. Don't get too starry eyed about it. Just be like, keep a cool head and be like, are these people I want to be working with? Bringing it backwards.